If you work in university maintenance, Granger considers you an MVP because your playbook ensures your arena is always ready for tip-off. And Granger is your trusted partner, offering the products you need all in one place, from HVAC and plumbing supplies to lighting and more. And all delivered with plenty of time left on the clock, so your team always gets the win. Call 1-800-GRANGER, visit Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Maybe you recognize this voice. Andy Betterman here of the injury law firm Greenberg & Betterman. For over 35 years, we've been helping people in the DMV with auto accidents and medical malpractice. Get a free consultation by visiting gblawyers.com and feel better.
Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for listening. Thanks for downloading. And thanks for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Yo, I happened to look up and I realized that this is episode 200. And I was like, damn. 200 episodes. Wow. I just wanted to come on here and just say thanks to all of you who have listened throughout the time. It's really bugged out because honestly, I didn't anticipate doing this long. Most of you probably don't know. I actually had a internet radio show that I started back in January of 2010. It was called the 12 Radio Show, and it was a really good show, and I enjoyed doing it. And I did that for 5 years, and then it just got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to do something different. And, I had some people, some friends that had talked to me about, looking at doing a full-on podcast. And I was like, I really like the idea of the live show. But the more and more I, started thinking about it, it just made more sense to me to do it that way. In fact, some of the earlier episodes, if you check the start of this podcast, some of the earlier episodes are actually episodes from the 12 Radio Show that I incorporated to this podcast. But yeah, I wanted to just do something different, and it came out pretty good. And I just wanted to get on here and say thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Honestly, there's a gazillion podcasts that you could listen to. So I'm really, thankful and flattered that you all take the time to listen to mine. Personally, I know it's dope, but I think it's cool when everybody else realizes how dope it is as well. And that's not being cocky, that's just being honest. This is a dope podcast, if I do say so myself, modestly speaking. That being said, it's been really, really cool and really dope. And it's something I enjoy. It's not something that I got into to necessarily to make money. It's kind of like one of those things where you just do it for the love. I do it for the love of the game. It's not I haven't quit my day job, that I went to school for to become a podcaster. And, I mean, if that happened, cool. But it's not something that I'm looking to do. Nonetheless, I've come in contact with a lot of people, and I think some of you probably have gotten to know me a little bit better just through this podcast, and I appreciate you guys for that as well. I definitely want to thank everybody that's co-hosted. The list is too long to name, to be honest, but I want to thank everybody who have co-hosted and those who will co-host going forward. But to knock out 200 episodes, you don't get there without good people. And I've had some of the best people to come on this podcast. Some of whom who had never, done a podcast before. So, I don't lose sight of that either. And I also know that it takes time to, work around people's schedule, work around my schedule as well. So I'm very thankful for that as well. Let's see what else. I also want to thank, and I mean, it goes without saying, gotta thank my family, because obviously, the time that I spend, podcasting is time that I could be spending with them, or time that I could be spending, goofing off. So, definitely special thanks and love to my wife and my kids, because they allow me to, pursue this passion and allow me to do my thing. And I think that's very important. If you listen to the podcast long enough, you know that my wife has been on here, my son Cameron. At some point, I'll get Dion on the podcast. That's our oldest son. And my youngest son, Brandon, and my daughter, Skylar. They will be on the podcast as well. Which leads me to a question that someone asked me on Twitter one day. They said, who haven't you had on the podcast that you want to have on the podcast? And that's an interesting question, because it's not like I interview movie stars, anything like that, but I definitely need to get my dad on the podcast. If you're familiar with the old 12 radio show, my dad would call into the radio show, and it was always good having him on. So I definitely got to get him on, as well as the kids. So that is what I'm looking forward to, and I'll do that coming soon. What else? A couple of things you probably should know about the podcast that you may or may not know. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I don't edit this podcast. If I mess up a word, or if I, just drop the ball, then, it is what it is. There's no editing. The only editing that's involved is when I put the music in the background. And that's it. It's basically just to layer the tracks over my voice. And the only reason why I do that is because, a couple of reasons. I like music, but two, my office where I record in my home, I call it the library. When I record in my library, there's an echo in here. And you can't hear it, but I hear it, and it's annoying as hell. So, so I started putting music behind it. So it's just, it suits me. So I think that's something that people tend to, are pretty cool with. So as long as you guys are cool with it, I'm cool with it. But yeah, I like to have music in the background, even if it's just soft music, because like I said, it's just, this echo is annoying. But yeah, I don't do any editing. So what you see is what you get, or what you hear is what you hear. What else? I normally don't listen to the podcast until it's already out. So if you listen to it, like the podcast drops every Thursday, I don't usually listen to the podcast until maybe sometimes 9-10 o'clock Thursday morning. So some people would have already listened. Actually, quite a few people would have already listened to it by the time that I listened to it. And I've learned when it comes to putting the tracks in and stuff like that, never do that when you're sleepy, because I had one episode where I was sleepy and it was the end of the podcast and the music was too loud, and it messed with me, because I thought it was a really, really dope podcast, and the last 3 minutes of the podcast, the music was too loud, and I was just mad as hell. But I would have caught it had I listened to the podcast. But to be honest, like I said, I don't listen to them prior to them being released. Now I will say this much, even though I don't listen to them, it took me a while, and it's funny because I've heard other podcasters say this. It took me a while before I could actually listen to my voice. When I first started the 12 radio show, oh my gosh, I went a long time. I went a long time without actually listening to those shows, because it was just I didn't like hearing my voice. And but I've grown accustomed to it now, so I'm cool with it. Voice is okay. Some people like it. It's cool. But yeah, it's been a magical 200 episodes, man. I didn't set out to do 200 episodes. Possibly there'll be 200 more. I don't know. It just depends. I've been pretty blessed because I've had the time to do it. I don't have necessarily a set schedule. I have things that I want to talk about. Sometimes the things that I talk about on this podcast are things that I've read. Sometimes it's based on conversation. Sometimes it's just based on memory. I really don't do current events because I want this podcast to be fresh and dope. And that's not saying that it's not fresh and dope for those who do current events, but if something happened, 4 months ago, and you just happen to discover this podcast, if I'm talking about something from 4 months ago, you're probably not going to go back and listen to that particular podcast. But I construct these podcasts in a way that, they're not dated. I mean, if you want to go listen to, you can do that. And I mean, it's not a dated podcast at all. So yeah, it's, I just like to keep it fresh like that. And it's like I said, the content is always cool. So, it's there for people to grasp and take hold to whenever they find this podcast. What else? Like I said, I do listen to the podcast. I listen to the podcast. I listen to each podcast at least twice, once I've put it out, but I never listen to it prior to. Sometimes I will record podcasts like weeks in advance. And when I do that, I try my best not to listen to them because I'm really, really anal. So I would want to change something. But again, I don't edit anything. So I'm not taking anything out. So it's like that. But yeah, it's been a great ride. And again, I want to thank everybody for listening. This is something that I really enjoy doing and bringing to people. And honestly, a lot of these conversations that I have on the podcast are conversations that I would have with, my friends or people that I know. You guys just happen to be here to share in it with me. And I got to thank, a lot of people who listen who don't know me, because the majority of you who listen don't know me. My friends listen from time to time, but more often than not, most of the people who listen and the people who listen on a consistent basis, those are people who don't know me. And it's always bugged out for me to look at, the numbers and see people in New Zealand or the UK or Canada or Mexico that are listening, because, that's just weird to me. And I mean, it's like, it's bugged out, particularly if you're in a, non-English speaking country, like Tokyo, and you're listening to this podcast. I don't know anybody in Tokyo. So hey, shout out to everybody in Tokyo who listens, because there's no translation. This is just pure straight up and down English. But yeah, it's definitely been a labor of love, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I don't have any regrets as far as the podcast. I think everything has gone very well. I can't say it's gone according to plan, because I didn't plan any of this. I just wanted to do something different from the 12 radio show, and this really has kind of blossomed and taken off really into something that I didn't necessarily anticipate, but I'm glad it happened. And honestly, the podcast is pretty popular. But I always want to make sure that I give, authentic and raw conversations. There'll never be a time where you turn on this podcast and I'm mailing it in. I'm going to give you whatever it is that I want to talk about when I want to talk about it. It's rare that I even seek, questions from people like, okay, if people want me to cover a certain topic, I will, if it's in my wheelhouse, but there's certain things I'm not going to talk about. And that's just me. But yeah, it's really been, really smooth, man. And, again, I got to thank you guys for it. I don't want to continue on because I don't want to feel like I'm rambling. But yeah, once again, thank you all for 200 episodes. There's more to come. A lot of times I will get ideas for podcasts and they don't necessarily come to fruition. I have one in particular that I've been sitting on this idea for the better part of 2 years, and I just haven't done the podcast yet. And it's coming. I just haven't done it yet because I want this to be perfect. And I know there's no such thing as a perfect podcast, but damn it, this got to be perfect because it's near and dear to my heart. Favorite. If I have a favorite podcast, I really don't have a favorite podcast. I guess my favorite podcast was the one that I did called Black Fatherhood with my boys D Love Hall and Easy Does It VA. Partly because those are two of my childhood friends, and one of the things that I got from that was not just our journeys through fatherhood, but my father and Derek's father got a chance to listen to it. Zell's father passed away, but our fathers got a chance to listen to it, and they gave some great feedback, and they were very proud. So that's probably my favorite. But every podcast that I've done has been fun in one way, shape, or form. And from time to time, I'll go back and listen to some of the oldies. Some of the first ones that I've done, at least for me, a little bit hard for me to listen to because I was still trying to find my footing. Because it's not easy to sit in a room and talk for 25 minutes and nobody's talking to you. You're just talking and looking at a screen. I rarely use notes. So a lot of what I say is kind of off the top. So, so it's not easy, but it's something that I've, like I said, gotten used to doing, and it's been very cool for me. So once again, I got to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for the love for 200 episodes. And of course, there will be more to come. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys next time. 5Gs.
If you work in university maintenance, Grainger considers you an MVP because your playbook ensures your arena is always ready for tip-off. And Grainger is your trusted partner, offering the products you need all in one place, from HVAC and plumbing supplies to lighting and more. And all delivered with plenty of time left on the clock, so your team always gets the win. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, visit Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. If you work in university maintenance, Grainger considers you an MVP because your playbook ensures your arena is always ready for tip-off. And Grainger is your trusted partner, offering the products you need all in one place, from HVAC and plumbing supplies to lighting and more. And all delivered with plenty of time left on the clock, so your team always gets the win. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, visit Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.